Howdy all you cowboys, cowgirls, gunfighters, and gamblers. Welcome to another episode of Jed I TV. I'm your time-traveling host, Jed I Knight, in another hotel in another town. And this time I forgot to bring any tripods with me, so you have to take a look at my current setup. You gotta work with what you've got. So today I want to share some of my YouTube woes with you. I just recently discovered that my content isn't being seen by all of my subscribers. This came to my attention when a part of mine mentioned that he hadn't seen a whole lot of content uploaded by Jed I TV. Now I upload at least an episode a week, and lately with the Throwback Thursday episodes, it's been 2 episodes a week. That's when Logan pointed out to my part that he might have his restricted mode turned on. Restricted mode hides videos that contain inappropriate content flagged by users and other signals. Imagine that. Jed I TV, inappropriate. So the takeaway here is check your YouTube settings. This is what Jed I TV looks like with restricted mode turned on. And this is what our channel looks like with restricted mode turned off. As you can see, there's a big difference in the amount of content that shows up, and I really can't understand the logic or the lack thereof in YouTube labeling our content as inappropriate. I assume Jed I TV is labeled as inappropriate because our content often deals with the subject of firearms, but always in a safe manner and typically on the range. So someone please tell me what is inappropriate about that. If you're able to see this episode of Jed I TV, then go in and adjust your settings to shut restricted mode off. And this issue is really just one of the most recent frustrations with YouTube. My content is often demonetized, meaning you won't see an ad run prior to the video, and those advertisements are what generate a small amount of revenue for this channel. Not enough revenue to retire on, but back before our videos were demonetized or deemed inappropriate, or as YouTube puts it, unsuitable for all advertisers, it was enough revenue to help offset the costs associated with putting this channel together. As you all know, we've invested pretty heavily in software, cameras, drones, lights, tripods, miscellaneous other items, so having advertisers on the channel and generating even just a few dollars on a video helped offset the cost. It was pretty nice. A lot of that revenue has gone away though, between the decreased number of views, which may or may not be related to folks not being able to see our content in their feed. Now think about it. This channel has almost 2,000 subscribers right now, yet when we release a video, it only gets around 200 views in its first week. Seems pretty logical that folks just aren't seeing this channel, or at least all of our content, in their YouTube feed, right? Another reason for the decrease in revenue is YouTube marks a lot of our content as unsuitable for all advertisers. And this is done pretty random. For example, one episode in a series may be marked unsuitable, like this, yet another episode in the same series isn't marked unsuitable. When a video is marked unsuitable for all viewers, I'm given the option to have this finding reviewed by YouTube. All I have to do is check a box that says it doesn't contain any unsuitable content, and then YouTube will review it. A little caveat to that, YouTube will only review videos that receive 1,000 views in a week. Yeah, that pretty much so leaves us out of the mix. Okay, so add all of that together and it creates enough of a decrease in revenue that Jed I TV hasn't seen a check from Google, the owners of YouTube, at all this year. So you might ask, Jed, why don't you just leave the platform? Leave YouTube altogether? Well, I'll be honest with you, I've thought about it, but I enjoy bringing you this show, and I didn't start out doing it for the money, and I won't continue to do it for the money. The money was just an added benefit, a way to offset the cost of the hobby of doing this show. Plus, there really is no alternative to YouTube at this time. But there are alternative ways to generate revenue off from our content here on YouTube. 1. Diversify Jedi TV's content. That's something I've said before. We cannot simply be a channel about cowboy action shooting. It doesn't appeal to a wide enough market, and it doesn't attract the target YouTube audience to our channel. And that's why I brought you content like product reviews, vlogging, and even food reviews. This is all to broaden our audience. And once they're here, if they get the bug for cowboy action shooting, then all the better. The other thing is, you can contribute. A lot of channels on YouTube use Patreon as a way to generate revenue, especially firearms related channels. Patreon is a way to get paid for creating content by the folks like yourself that watch this content. Now, late last year, after much of my content had been demonetized by YouTube, Miss Harley made a video asking for y'all to contribute to a Patreon account for Jedi TV. I never released that video, and I never created a Patreon. Miss Harley just shakes her head at me sometimes, and I don't blame her. Now, some of you have also suggested that I try Patreon, but I'm not ready to take that step yet. I will, eventually. In the meantime, I ran across the website that will allow those viewers that are inclined to do so an avenue to donate to this channel, and it's much more appropriate to this channel. It's called Buy Me a Coffee. Fitting, since I know several of my viewers enjoy having their morning cup with this show, and I can often be found with a cup in hand while hosting, editing, as well as replying to your comments. Buy Me a Coffee just seems more fitting to me than asking folks to donate to a Patreon. And maybe that's just me. And the process seems pretty darn easy. It's just a couple of clicks of a button on your end. And I say seems pretty easy because as of the time of this recording, I haven't had anyone buy me a coffee yet. Hold up there just a second, past Jed. This is present Jed with an update. I did actually receive a coffee while I was editing this episode. I want to give a big thank you to William Brazelton, the outlaw that often haunts my pard Santee's Arizona Ghost Riders channel. And Santee, you might want to check your credit card statement. No telling what other internet purchases that rapscallion might be charging to you. Now back to our show with past Jed. But this is probably the first y'all have heard of it, right? And you shouldn't even feel remotely obligated to buy me a coffee or contribute to a Patreon. This show will continue to be available for you regardless. This is simply a way for Jedi TV to generate a little bit of revenue, mostly to replace what was lost in advertising revenue. It took me quite some time to come to the decision that I'd even ask for donations from my viewers, even though my family, pards, and some of you viewers have suggested I look into something like this for quite some time. Buy Me a Coffee is something I'm comfortable with. We'll see where it goes in the future. And I'm interested in your feedback on this subject, so come on down to the comments section and chat with me. And thanks for listening to my rant, y'all. I'll be back with some more great content. Make sure you're subscribed and have your restricted settings turned off and the notification bell turned on. I'm Jedi Knight, and I'll see you in some other place in some other time.